Now that you have gone through the process of creating your assessment, you have been brought to this new page in Schoology, and it's going to bring you to the Setup tab. The Setup tab is going to be the place where you can provide instructions with your students and also adjust many different types of settings that will be useful as your students take this assessment. So the first thing that you're going to do is focus in on the instructions area. The instructions are going to be the first part of the assessment that your students see. So this is going to be a good place where you can write them a message, include a picture, and give them specific steps that you would like them to take while they work on this. I'm going to click into a preview here about what instructions can look like as you create them. So here is a preview of an assessment that I've already made. I've been able to include a picture, and I've also given students specific instructions. I've also reminded them that there are student tools that they'll be able to work with as they go through the assessment, as well as being able to click on Finish when they're done. So to begin, you're going to type your instructions into this text box here, and you can use all of these text formatting tools to set this up the way that you would like. You can use your bold, italic, you can add bullet points. You can also come in here and continue using the Insert Content button that you've learned about in your introductory courses, and you can insert either images or different links. To add an image, you will click on Attach File, and you'll scroll through the place that you have the image saved, and this will put this into your setup here. You can size this and scale it. You also have the option of adding a link, so if you have a video that you would like your students to watch, they can click on that link first. Once you've completed filling out the instructions for your students, you're going to continue down the page, and the first topic you're going to see now is the assessment settings. These are going to be specific for this assessment, and the first one you'll see is the time limit. If you would like there to be a time limit for this, meaning how long your students can be actively taking this assessment, you can click on yes, and you can come and use the up or down arrows, or you can type in an assessment time. The next feature is going to be that you can have assessment questions randomly ordered. So if you're not looking to scaffold your questions, you might want to keep your assessment as randomly ordered. But if you have your questions building off of each other, you're going to want to keep this as a no. You can also have the option of showing the possible points for each question during an attempt, and by default this is already set to be on so that the students will know how many points they have for each question. The next grouping of settings that you're going to come to is going to be your assessment toolbar, and this is going to be specifically geared towards the tools that you would like your students to have access to during the assessment. By default, you're going to notice that all of these are set to no, so right now the students don't have access to these tools. Any of these tools that you would like to be available to them throughout the assessment you can turn on, including flagging questions for review, eliminating answer choices, if you would like them to have access to a calculator or a ruler, if you would like them to use a protractor, to be able to highlight text, and to be able to use a notepad. I'm going to hop over to what this looks like from a student view while they are taking the assessment so you can see if these tools would be appropriate for you. So right now I am in a student example here of this assessment, and you're going to notice on the right side of the page I have this toolbar that's available. As the students hover over, they're going to be able to see these tools that are specifically available to them. So the first option is going to be flag for review, which means that they can click this and it turns the flag blue, and at the end of the assessment it's going to give them a visual alert that maybe they want to go back and look at this question. It also gives them the option to eliminate choices, so if they click on eliminate choices and they know that a few of those are wrong, they can take those out. They can toggle that back off, and then they can continue working on their question. A calculator would be available for them to type in, as well as a ruler that they can move around the page and rotate. They have a protractor available, which they can do the same thing, and a notepad that they can go and type in some notes to themselves. Once the students have finished all of their questions, they're going to be brought to their review screen, and they will see a flag over the question number that they put in as flagged to go back and review. The last group of settings that you're going to be able to see and adjust are your student settings. So the first one is going to be helpful after you have your students take the assessment. So it says allow students to view results after an attempt is submitted. By default, this is set to no, so meaning the students take their assessment and then they're not able to see their results. After you've finished the assessment and all of your students have taken it, you might want them to go back in so that they can reflect on where they made some mistakes or where they were doing really well. So you can toggle this drop down here to say yes, the students can see their results, or yes, and also show them the correct answers. The last field that you're going to be able to determine is how many attempts you would like your students to have to take each assessment. You can go up to 20 times for them to take this assessment. And if you select more than one time and you have this graded, it's going to ask you, do you want it to be graded by the highest score or the last score that they took? Once you have determined all of your settings, you can click the Save button and that will save that. At any point, you can click on the Preview button up top to see what this is going to look like from a student perspective. You also always have your settings and your drop down here where you can go in and edit this and unpublish it or copy it to another course or save to your resources. In the next video, we're going to look at how you can begin setting up your questions for your assessment.